I'm doing Depp vs. Heard, entertainment, pop culture. This here's from Fox News, and it's from November 29th, 2022. As we know, Fox is pretty heavily leaning to the right, so I'm sure some people dislike Fox. I don't like everything they say either. However, in this case, I see a lot of positivity about Johnny coming out of there. I don't see them defending Amber in articles. Maybe they're out there. I can't read every single one, but I commonly see articles like this. So, it's called Will Smith and Johnny Depp Lead Celebrity Comebacks After Being Canceled. And it begins. Will Smith and Johnny Depp are both making career comebacks after being canceled in the court of public opinion. Now, I don't know about Will Smith. That was more rightful for the people who don't like Will Smith anymore, because obviously what he did was out of line, but they are still saying this about Johnny, that he was canceled. And not even every media outlet will phrase it like that. So it's really important to phrase it like that he was canceled. If you go to some other big ones, they might say some people think he's canceled or something like that, but Fox is stating it as a fact here that he was canceled. So I gotta agree there that this is the correct way to phrase it. They go on to say that Will Smith has a movie coming out called Emancipation. I'm pretty neutral on Will. What he did was out of line. Yeah, it was pretty bad, especially because it was in public in front of so many people. But I don't know, it just doesn't really bother me. I'm pretty much, right in the middle. If you don't like Will because of it, okay, cool, I respect that. If you see his movies, okay, I'm cool with that too. Then they say about Johnny, Depp has also been declared vindicated following his court win against wife Amber Heard, and I also like how they phrase that. Oh, I think he's completely vindicated, Depp's friend and frequent collaborator Helena Bonham Carter told The Times. I think he's fine now, totally fine. So they do go on to mention who vindicated him, but if you just read up until that point, it just says he's vindicated, which is kind of misleading, hinting towards that's what everybody thinks, which is kind of a good narrative for Johnny. And then they do go on to mention her, so there you go. They go on to say people at Fox think some celebrities come back from cancellation, some don't. Not saying so much there, we knew that, thank you. And it continues, there isn't one quick fix when it comes to celebrities getting out of cancel culture purgatory. The public's perception of the person before the controversy, the seriousness of the offense, and the celebrity's response to the firestorm all play a role, but usually with enough time, a celebrity can slowly work their way back, which I find, yeah, basically true. Like they say, it really depends on what happened, what they did, how serious. But I guess in Will's case, all right, it was a smack, it was bad, but probably not going to end the whole thing. In Johnny's case, well, he's back, he went to court, he proved it, so he should be going up and up and up from this point on. Fans can be extremely forgiving when it comes to their favorite stars, she said. For example, Will Smith may have a few fans that won't see his movies now, but his huge likability before the infamous Oscar slap will help him get through this. He also did a good job of publicly owning up to his bad behavior. Fair enough. And then this person goes on to say, if the celebrity doesn't own up to it, then there's going to be a tougher climb back and more backlash, which, yeah, I suppose is true. If it's obvious they did it, and they say, hey, I did it, I was wrong, I apologize, that's big. I always said here about Amber, if she said, okay, I did it, I actually abused Johnny, and I tried to be this poster girl for the Me Too movement, I'd be like, all right, she admits it, and I gotta just move her up one level in my book, just one notch for admitting it and coming out and saying it, and that would be a big deal. If she admitted it and came out, then like 5 years later, I see her in a movie and she tried to be genuinely apologetic, I'd be like, okay. I wouldn't see it, I'd ignore it, but I wouldn't be like so gung-ho for other people to learn about it and not see it. I'd move closer towards neutrality. When it comes to some kind of wrongdoing, it's always key for any celebrity to take responsibility as quickly as possible for their part. Yep, I think we just went through that. But sometimes stars think they're untouchable and refuse or simply can't face what they've done. Kinter said, they can end up definitely doubling down on inappropriate remarks and actions, and this only strokes the fire, making the pathway to return even longer or sometimes nearly impossible. Yeah, absolutely agree. Does anyone disagree with that? Probably not. And they continue about Johnny. Johnny Depp lost out on movie roles after he was branded a wife beater by the media following an op-ed written by his ex-wife Amber Heard. Now keep in mind, they put wife beater in quotations, meaning that wife beater, wasn't proved to be true kind of thing here. And that's another thing I like about this writing here. At the time, she labeled herself a victim of domestic violence. Even though she didn't name Depp specifically, Depp claimed his reputation took a hit following the publication of the op-ed, which was absolutely true for anyone to see who's paying attention, has their eyes open, and looking at the news or anything out in the world. They go on to say he won the trial, and they go on to say he's been outspoken about cancel culture while dealing with legal drama. And they have a quote that Johnny said, "It's so far out of hand now that I can promise you no one is safe, not one of you, no one out that door. No one is safe," Depp said while speaking to the press at the San Sebastian International Film Festival in 2021. "It takes one sentence and there's no more ground. The carpet has been pulled. It's not just me that this has happened to, it's happened to a lot of people. This type of thing has happened to women, men. Sadly, at a certain point, they begin to think that it's normal or that it's them when it's not." And that's a great statement to include in this article, gotta say. That pretty much says it all. And they list a couple of his achievements since that, which is another very positive thing. And they mention Will Smith, and they mention a few other celebrities who were canceled and making comebacks and things like that. But we're mostly here to talk about Johnny. So in the end, they kind of sum up Will Smith's situation, and they predict he'll overcome it eventually and get his career back. And yeah, like they stated, which I happen to agree with, it depends on how serious the offense was, and a slap in the face is pretty bad, but, you know, it's a slap in the face. There's a lot worse things a celebrity could do to be canceled, lose a career, or something like that. So, I just don't really follow Will Smith. Not a big fan, so whatever happens there, happens there. But not going to argue with anyone who's telling me they're not going to see his movies or whatnot. But Johnny's movies, we can't wait to see. That's for sure. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. Shout out to Laura B. She's a moderator on this channel. She sent me this. Appreciate it, Laura. And if you're not subscribed here, consider it. And if you don't consider it and don't subscribe, I'll be pretty sad, but I'll get over it. Make a new video, something like that. See you next time.